Are we ready? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you know, New York City has implemented congestion pricing. Here are a few videos where New Yorkers share their frustration with the proposed plan. Enjoy.
3, 2, 1.
Not that they had an unveiling and said happy congestion pricing. Yo, they are playing in our face. Yo. I'm sorry. Yo, I'm going to sleep now. Good night. They're playing in our faces. Y'all should just watch the whole video and just get more upset. Like, good night. Good night.
Why is he smiling? Why is he smiling? I have to pay $9 to drive to the city. He's smiling. You're joking, right? You had a grand reveal sign to tell me we're celebrating the congestion pricing in the city. So you did the congestion pricing because there's too many cars, too many fumes. How about people stop on the train? How about we stop people on the train? Maybe we'll stop driving if we could use the train and not risk our lives every day. $9? Are you kidding me? You're joking. And he's smiling. I'm so confused. Yeah. You guys want to keep moving to New York, right? You love it here so much, right? Trust me. It ain't shit here. Trust me.
So, congestion pricing starts today in New York City despite a last-minute ditch effort by New Jersey to try to get the rule overturned. A judge ruled against that, so congestion pricing does start today. And as you can see, I'm in my car, and even though I do live in New York City, in Manhattan, I am subject to that $9 congestion pricing fee if I go out of the city and then come back in under 60th Street, which sometimes I do. It's going to be a new fact of life for anyone living or moving to or driving into New York City if you go below 60th Street. $9 in addition to the charges for the tunnels or the bridges. For those of us who do live above 60th Street, it's going to be interesting to see if our areas get more congested with traffic and parking and people parking just go downtown, and also if the subways get improved. Be sure to subscribe and follow for more updates and tips on the New York City real estate market.
Let me give you a bunch of reasons why this congestion price is going to be total mayhem. Number one, your essential workers, your doctors, your garbage men, your firefighters, your police officers coming from Staten Island, coming from Jersey. $20 every single day. Really? You think that's going to last? These folks, where are they supposed to get this extra income? What if you're on a fixed income? Forget the essential workers. What if you're on a fixed income, senior citizen, and you have to make moves below 60th Street? Where's those extra dollars going to come from if you drive in? Now I know what you're saying. Well, you can take public transportation. You're damn right. You don't think people are going to drive over George Washington, which is $15, park their car, and then take the train? Or how about driving to Brooklyn, park the car, take the train? But then all those neighborhoods with those already parked cars, where are those extra cars going? Think about the Washington Heights. Like if I drive into George Washington, drive over George Washington Bridge, park my car in the Heights, then take the train. You can't even find parking in the Heights right now, in Washington Heights right now. Where are these people parking? Folks used to come from White Plains or what have you, park in the Bronx, and then take the train down to watch the Yankees because they ain't want to spend $100 for parking. So what you're going to have is people trying different things out, whether it's parking, taking the train, what have you. Oh, let me get back to the train. So if you're trying to increase ridership, this isn't the way, because if the train system hasn't been to pre-COVID levels, currently in terms of ridership. Obviously, the MTA wants it there. But this is not the way. Whether you feel that the subway system currently is safe or not, increase more people going to the subway system. Guess what? The seats aren't going to be more. So you're going to have people fighting over seats, fighting over space, fighting over parking. This is supposed to be better for who? You're removing congestion from Manhattan and putting it everywhere else. Praise Jesus, hallelujah.
Let me explain to y'all why this is way more fucked up than just cars, right? You see that 2160 right there? Semi-trucks, right? What do semi-trucks carry? Goods. And what are goods? Foods, products, necessities, right? So everything in the city is gonna go up. So all you little weirdos saying like, oh, we have such a extensive public transportation system. It's y'all need to make use of it, right? Y'all don't freaking realize that your little soy milk fucking latte now is, instead of it being $8, it's going to be $12 because the ingredients and goods is going to cost more money. A lot of contracts, right, for the restaurants in the city, their prices are either going to go up or a lot of businesses are going to go out of business because the traffic coming from the city, from Jersey into the city, now is going to be slimmer. People aren't going to go into the city to spend money anymore, right? Real estate in Brooklyn might go up, but the prices in the city are going to go down. So who is this really affecting, right? Because I know for a fact, right, y'all not, because y'all don't think, right, like y'all liberal niggas don't be fucking thinking, right, that your Uber to the city when you're drunk as fuck or you're a woman, right, and you're not taking a train at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, right, unless you're dumb. Unless you're dumb or you like to fight, that's up to you. But your Uber ride to the city now is going to be mad bread. It's going to be more money. They're going to raise the fuck out of these prices. So this is not just a car issue. This I don't even know what to say no more. Fuck these.
A little while ago, I made a video about us being in a subscription hell and everything has a hidden upcharge. And I would say eventually they're going to charge us for existing, but it is not free to live on this earth, so we are already paying that cost. Even major fast food corporations are considering surcharges to order food during peak hours. But how did we get to a point to where New York City thinks it's okay to charge fucking congestion prices in the city? And I feel like this is just an experiment to be adopted in cities nationwide, so like it's not just a New York City problem. And to punish people for driving like public transportation is a safe alternative. Within the past few weeks, a woman was burned alive, a man was pushed in front of a moving train, there was a knife attack, and somebody pulled the emergency brake and people were stuck in the tunnel. It's just a lack of consideration. There are people that are disabled and, subways aren't the best way for them to get around. Some people's commutes do not warrant them to take public transportation. And, just everything is more expensive. I just feel like this was very insensitive and honestly inhumane.
Okay, don't judge me if my hair looks a mess. I look crazy, but I'm just so annoyed about this whole congestion pricing thing. And as someone who is a born and raised New Yorker, someone who drives to work every day, you mean to tell me that you are going to implement a system in which people are paying an additional $9 to enter a certain part of the city in hopes of alleviating congestion and gridlock? Now, there's going to be certain people who just pay it, right? Like certain people, I'm included in that bunch, because you can't tell me to, don't drive and don't do this. Just take the train, take the public transit when it's so much crime going on in the train. Not to mention you increase the price of the train, which is whatever, but you have people paying more money and people don't even feel safe. So the priorities are you guys are not focused on the right things. Secondly, it took Jersey, the same Jersey, what Chief Keef said, not too much on Jersey, because it took Jersey to jump in and say not so fast, hold up, literally went to the courts and everything to try to halt it, and the New York judges are trying to fight it. What is wrong with y'all? The math is not mathing, and it's just so annoying because on top of that, not only is it going to be $9, but in 3 years, 2028, it's going up again, $12. Then 3 years after that, 2031, going up again, $15. So what is the real end? Like, what is the end result here? The same efforts that are being put into making the money on needs to be put into everyone's safety, because that is, we're literally a joke. New York is a joke. We're a joke. And it pains me to say that, and I see why people move out. Like, it's sad. It's really so sad. Like, I'm so annoyed.
So when I used to work at Dog Pound, I would take the subway 5 out of the 6 days a week that I worked. And it was super unsafe. There would be people that would follow me off the subway, just really weird situations. I've had a guy swing at me before. It's just not comfortable. It's not safe. You're always hyper vigilant. You're always stressed. You're always full of anxiety. I stopped taking the subway 2 years ago, and I drive to all my clients in the city because of this. Now, I have friends that are EMTs. I have my brother who's in the FDNY. The amount of calls that they get from people getting pushed, shot, someone just set on fire. There are so many situations on the MTA that need to be focused on about safety, other than taxing us and charging us more money for commuting into the city. I can't speak for others, but I sure as hell can speak for myself. I'd rather add an hour to my commute and be in control of my car and how I can get in and out of the city, God forbid something happens, than potentially get pushed in front of a train when it comes. And everyone that's like, oh my gosh, but it's New York City. To be quite fair, anybody who moves here, you live in a shoebox with 7 other people that you spend rent up to $1,500 to $2,000 for literally a 4x4. Commuting sucks. Again, the trains are horrendous. If your train even comes, depending on the borough that you live in, sure, it's a melting pot. There's different people here. That's beautiful. I get that. New York City is not what it was. If you open up your eyes to it, if you stop glamorizing it in the way that you are, or you stop looking at it through the lens of the influencers you follow that can afford to live a lifestyle that you unfortunately can't, it really makes sense that New York isn't what you think it is.
You cannot afford to drive in New York City anymore. Congestion pricing begins today, and this is exactly how much it will cost you. As of today, any car that drives under 60th Street, which is basically where all the fun stuff is, will be hit with a congestion pricing tax. So basically anywhere under Central Park. This is how much it's going to cost you. So they call this peak hours, but it's literally the entire day and night. Unless you're a club rat, you're getting hit with peak hours. If you go below 60th Street, they're gonna charge you $13.50 without an Easy Pass, $9 with an Easy Pass every time you go below 60th Street. Now I know what you're thinking. I'll just Uber. That's covered also a $1.50 surcharge for any ride under 60th Street. If you lived in New York City, you know that calling an Uber late at night is never the option. You end up city biking half drunk, weaving through traffic like Batman from Dark Knight Begins. I tried calling an Uber at 1:35 a.m., you know, because I go out and I'm cool and stuff. $90 to go from downtown to uptown. I can't get anywhere. People that live outside of New York City are cracked. To come in from the Lincoln Tunnel, it's gonna cost you in total with all the tolls and fees and congestion pricing, $27 without an Easy Pass. Talk about killing tourism. Here's how you could avoid the congestion robbery. Take the West Side Highway or the FDR Drive and you never get off. You can never get off. You will not be charged the congestion pricing tyrannical tax. But the good news is Kathy Hochul on her website made a press release saying that this is going to save drivers money because they could have made the tax more expensive. They say, bro, who votes for this? And she also says it's going to reduce traffic because more people are going to take the subways. But we don't want to take the subways. We don't want to take the subways. New York City is making all the wrong moves. What do you guys think?
Oh, hi. So I live in Lower Manhattan in the new congestion pricing zone, and everybody on this app suddenly seems very concerned, and they probably should be. Ultimately, despite the MTA, New York City's infrastructure is still very car-centric, and charging New Yorkers a premium to use the infrastructure that we've been given is predatory. It just is. That's my opinion. I'm sure there are a lot of people that feel differently. But people with means will keep using their car, and people that are just getting by and it makes sense to drive are going to be put in compromising positions. And businesses in Lower Manhattan are going to charge us a lot more for goods because they have to pay for those goods getting in on a truck, which costs a lot of money. Welcome. Robert Moses' New York City is alive and well. I hope that we can change the infrastructure of the city rather than just charge New Yorkers to use it.
One thing about congestion pricing is that it's not actually going to stop congestion. It's just going to stop poor people from commuting into the city. And I am not hearing anybody talk about this, but one of the top cancer hospitals in America and in the world is located inside of that congestion zone. There are no exemptions catered to those patients, by the way. There is a general exemption for disability, and it does not specify how many cars can be under that exemption. If someone has cancer, they are not going to drive their own car to the hospital. Cancer is an entire family thing. So you don't know in what moment you are with who, and that person needs to drive you to the hospital. And the exemption does not specify how many cars can be allocated to that exemption. And there are cancer patients that need to get chemotherapy daily, who might not be actually by law like disabled, but are still cancer patients. Imagine delaying medical care because now you have to fill out some bureaucratic paperwork in order to get to your designated hospital. The congestion pricing was only to make rich people and people doing business in New York able to get around easier. It's just for them to be able to circulate the city faster. It's basically a way to say, poor people, you need to move up out of here. You need to get up out of here because we run this square and we need to get around. And you guys are in my way. It is so diabolical. It's sickening to me that they can even make that a thing. And on top of that, taking away the orange trains, nobody's gonna have a place to sit. The elderly are not gonna have a place to sit. The people with weakened immune systems can't even get on the train. Like, wow. It's just, wow.
Own Il Pasto Accanto, an Italian restaurant in the East Village. Pena says unlike larger corporate restaurants, they rely heavily on small vendors to supply them with fruits, vegetables, and meat from across the tri-state region, which is why he expects that congestion pricing could impact his restaurant's bottom line.
Small mom and pop places like us that have supported us and we support them. But this is going to be a deal breaker for them as well.
The congestion tax will drive many of Il Posto's customers, including tourists and commuters, away from the city, decimating their small business and others just like it.
But Transit Union President Richie Davis pushed back on the idea that congestion pricing would hurt businesses, saying that this is a necessary measure to not only make needed fixes to the MTA, but also decrease the heavy traffic gridlocks.
A gasping pain in your chest that feels kind of like, it's taking away all the air from you from the inside.
When drivers heading into Manhattan below 60th Street will be charged a $9 toll to reduce traffic there. A lot of them may reroute through the Bronx to dodge that fee.
That's not good. It's not good. The fumes from the vehicles.
Bronx already deals with hundreds of thousands of vehicle trips every day on its highways and bridges that connect the city to mainland USA. The MTA says congestion pricing will add 4,000 more vehicle trips to the South Bronx. More cars, more trucks,
and community health. So we have been a sacrifice zone.
To offset the effects, the MTA is promising $130 million for air filters in schools and a new asthma clinic. But a lot of people aren't convinced that's enough.
Just make sure you protect our people at the same time and our youth that's growing up.
June Balloon has lived in the Bronx his whole life. From his window, he can see the highways getting busier. He'll be watching, he says, hoping his voice and breath don't get lost in all that traffic.
For the life of me, I couldn't understand why people weren't in arms about this congestion pricing. I've been all up and down this app just like rolling my eyes and making comments about how detrimental this congestion pricing is. And I realize that people are apathetic. Like, they don't care about things until it directly affects us. And you gotta understand, like, New York is so influential in so many ways that other states are going to take this and run with it. And as New Yorkers, we should have done our part and stomped that thing out. Every time that they had a meeting for MTA, dead it. How do you get this reversed? You know, it's harder to get something reversed as opposed to just stopping it. And yeah, this isn't good. This is not good at all. The only thing I could think of is that maybe you can complain to your local congressperson, council person. I'm not even sure, because a lot of them voted for congestion pricing. Like, my senator voted for congestion pricing. I saw that, emailed him, and he still has yet to answer me. We need to really start holding these people accountable. MTA as it is, and I used to work for MTA entities, so this is the only reason why I know it. MTA as it is, it works on a deficit. Like, they don't make profit regardless. So them saying that they need to make up this money because people are jumping the turnstile, it's, last time I checked and last time I knew, and this was years ago, if MTA wanted to make a profit, they would literally, fare would have to be like $5 or $6. Don't quote me on it. But, yeah, I think even going into this new year and just seeing how people are so disengaged from things that affect others and thinking that they are so far removed, it's always going to screw you over. So, yeah, it sucks. Like, it sucks, and it's unnecessary, and it's ridiculous. New York City has, for years and through the various administrations, have been trying to really make it hard to have your own transportation. MTA is clearly unsafe. They cannot guarantee our safety. They have policemen in the staircase on their phones. The people that they've hired to, I guess, like, deter people from jumping the turnstile, they do nothing. I've literally seen them turn their head to go talk to someone else, and people have jumped the turnstile. And that's also a dangerous situation for them too, because you never know with these people on the train. This whole situation is just ridiculous. The only thing that I could say is, you know, contact your local politicians, and we need to get Eric Adams and Hochul out of here. They have done nothing but harm to the city. And the city is, honestly, I've always felt like this for quite some time. The city is living on a prayer, and the prayer is about to run out. Like, yeah. Also, for reference for people that have never been to New York or don't really understand what's going on, imagine you're, like, say if you live in a small town, your city, you're being charged $9 or a variation between $9 and however much it is, depending on what part of the city that you're going to actually drive into the city. That's exactly what's happening. That's insane behavior. There are 5 boroughs in New York City. All of them. You're being charged to go into the city from those boroughs. And when I say the city, I mean Manhattan. And then various parts, depending on how you get into Manhattan, you're being charged to go into, which was free because we're in the same place. Like, it's so upsetting. It really is so upsetting.
How about pricing of congestion?
You mean the commuter tax?
Yeah, the commuter tax.
The way we're going to make sure that all the commercial real estate in Manhattan just stays empty? Perfect. We're going to charge the plumbers to come in and fix the piping and the 100-year-old pre-war piles of... Yeah, there's no way that's going to blow up in our faces completely. Just take the cameras down before we do. Put them to good use. Use them to track the trains that you can't seem to find half the time. It would be nice if we know where they were.
So what you're saying is it's a backwards thinking to tax the people that are going to come in here, fix our buildings, our toilets, basically make our lives better, which is in turn going to cost all of us more.
Well, we didn't take care of the city in the manner that blue-collar people can afford to work here. We kicked everybody out during the pandemic, and a lot of talent left the city and is never coming back. They found greener pastures that are less stressful, and, you know, they have a better shot at retiring.
When it comes to congestion pricing, I'll say let's give it a year. Let's see if the MTA lives up to their word and actually start fixing up transit and the trains and buses. To me, I would rather see a new form of transit, introduce new streetcars, have more ferries out there so people don't have to be cramped in a train station or in a train car like sardines. That would be more helpful, and that would have helped a little more. So that way they could fix up the older stations and they don't have to be all these delays. But that's just me. We also have to see if the mom and pop shops are going to survive the congested zone. As of right now, we don't know. But all we know, landlords are greedy and they're probably going to spike the rents in that area. So this is going to make it more expensive to live there. So you probably are going to see a lot of out-migration out that area for people who cannot not afford to live there. That's all. Well, thank you for coming by and watching my videos. Hope to see you soon.